Hi there, nice to see you all again. Today I will be creating another tier list for countries in Eurovision. We're on North Macedonia today. That's how far into the alphabet we've come. So there are, I don't know, there's like 20-ish songs here that I'm going to try and put into the categories based on my personal opinion regarding the songs and performances that we have on the screen right now and put them into the 7 categories we have here. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. And North Macedonia debuted in 1998, and I believe this was the final song to ever have the live orchestra, quite interestingly enough. This is a song that I'm actually quite fond of. I think it's a very solid debut from North Macedonia, which is why I'm just going to put it in solid. I think the song has a very just lovely tone to it. There's a nice atmosphere in the song. The vocal performance is quite strong, and I like the way that it works with the backing vocals as well. It all feels quite classy as well in a way, I think. I just like how polished everything looks on stage while also having this kind of polished song. It just sounds kind of, I don't think sophisticated is the correct word, but that's just the vibe that I'm getting. It's well planned together, it's well put together, it's well played, and well executed. Everything just works. It's kind of a solid idea that's just been put some passion into and really just developed it into a solid package of a great song. I'm quite fond of it. I'm actually really fond of it. Do I think it's even really great? Um, I think I'm going to keep it in the solid category for now, but I think there's just no flaws with this at all, and I'm quite fond of it myself for my personal opinion as well. You know what? I'm actually gonna move it up. I feel like I should. The song that, like, what it's actually lacking is, I guess, a little bit of drive and a little bit of just that whole impact that it might need to really just grab audiences. But I think just for my personal taste, I kind of just get dragged into this and enjoy it for what it is. So I'll put it up here. I think that's where I'm gonna land on it. However, yeah, they didn't get a super good result with this debut. In '99, they had to miss out, and in 2000 they came back and, whew, I don't know. This for some people this might be incredibly charming. It's a very flashbacky thing back to the early 2000s. It's very typical for its time. It's just that the execution here for me just falls completely flat on its face. The vocal performances are really weak, in my opinion. They kind of clash all over each other. The song is kind of like, the melody is, it has like an intonation into it and a flow rhythmically that's kind of enjoyable, but it also just comes across with that kind of weak delivery because of the vocal performances, I think. Then there's an ambition of making like a choreography simultaneously with the singing, and it all just looks a bit school play. That sounds really harsh. I don't mean it super negatively, but it's just that the song isn't for me and the performance definitely isn't for me. So I think it's quite understandable for me to put it in the what happened here category. But if you like it out there, then that's awesome. I'm happy for you that you found something to enjoy. But for me, this is just, no, I can't with it. I really can't. 2002. This has a kind of like with the 98 effort, but in a completely different manner. It has an atmosphere that I really like. It's kind of like a tribal tone in the background always throughout this song. The vocal melodies aren't particularly memorable, but I think there's a nice flow to them. And I like the incorporation of the backing vocals as well. They add like a great dynamic to the main vocal, and it's kind of a very, like, the vocal arrangement throughout the song feels very well thought out and well performed as well. The performance, like the staging wise, it's, it definitely leaves an imprint in your mind of what it was. Maybe the song doesn't really match that kind of thing, but I still think there's enough things here that I enjoy. I think particularly the instrumental and how kind of this tribal tone in the atmosphere really sets the mood. And there's also this nice little thing with the vocal arrangement that I'm quite fond of. So I think this is a solid effort. I quite like it, actually. In 2004, however, this is one of the standouts, I think, by far for North Macedonia. live with its 7/8 time signature, which is just incredible. And this kind of beat that's so hectic and intense and really just has this drive of kind of passion and suspense, and there's a lot of just mystery to the backing track of this song. I love the atmosphere that it has. I love just how dominant the beat in the background. It is very rhythmically engaging throughout, and the vocal melody lies perfectly on top of it. It's a rhythmically really cool song, I think, and the time signature just kind of elevates it. It's tricky to write, but I think they pulled it off really well here as well. The performance is also quite captivating with its with all its ideas of the kind of statuesque backing, like the backing. Yeah, I just like it. I think it's fantastic. I think this is a really, really, really great entry from North Macedonia, and by far one of the standouts in the year of 2004. I think this one definitely stands out, and I love the hook of it, and I love the instrumental as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put it up there. It will not get company from their effort in 2005, Make My Day. I think this song, when I was younger, I quite liked the hook of it. I think the hook is really catchy, and this constantly upbeat backing track as well. The drums is the drum machine is very constant, and there's energy in it. It's just that when I watch this performance, I completely zone out. I don't want anything to do with it. I kind of despise it in a way. It all just feels so not planned out and not well executed. You have the backing vocalists waving their fingers and standing completely still, and you have these three women who do a choreography, which the less words I say about it, the better, I think. I think like the main vocalist guy isn't too bad, but it's just everything feels kind of amateurish in a way, which is it just looks off, and I don't like it, which makes me put it in this category, because I think there's like something in the song. I think it's a catchy song. I think it's just kind of harmless and done with the purpose of just being a fun backing track. But I don't want to watch the performance ever. Yeah, 2006 Nina Ninanya or something like that. It's very much in the same vein as 2005, but not as off with the performance, I think. The song is really catchy, although it's very, very repetitive. I realize every time I watch it and listen to it. And I'm not really super fond of all of the ideas thrown into the verses and such, but there's still like this constant beat in it that's really energetic. The hook is memorable. The performance is, the choreography here has at least had some ambition. It's just that it's not maybe for me all the way. It's not my type of performance, but it is a type of performance that I think is very was maybe more appreciated in 2006 by the general audience. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But I think today it looks a bit off. It looks a bit on the weaker side. Regardless, I think the song is memorable enough for me to put it in the solid category. I prefer this over Make My Day. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Then we have Mojo Cvet. There's like something in this song that I quite like as well. Like it's very playful in the way that the rhythms have been arranged. There's a lot of playfulness with it, with using stabs and hits to really just indicate rhythmic switch-ups throughout the song. The chorus has a memorable melody. It also has this backing track which is kind of atmospheric and just enjoyable for that matter. Really great, I think. It's just nice. It's a nice listening experience. It's a nice performance as well with the dancing choreography in the background and the seated. Are they backing vocalists? I think the backing vocalists are seated, or it's just dancers. I don't know, but it's just this kind of. It has like an epic tone layout wise as well. I'm quite fond of it. I think it's a really great one. Then we have 2008, Let Me Love You, which is not my thing. The hook has a memorable melody to it. She's a good performer. The verses are not my thing at all. I think we're gonna have to put it in the I like it but category here again, for maybe not for similar reasons, but I think the strengths are similar here. It's the hook, but there are just parts of this song that I don't really vibe with, I guess. 2009, however, this is a rockier effort from North Macedonia, quite a vintage one, I think. It sounds very much like 80s and 90s rock, but I kind of really like that. You know, it's charming, and I think this is, for once, it's like a vintage type of rock that I actually think is quite well put together and well executed. I like the tone of this. I like the production. Like, the production quality is solid here. The instrumentation is quite great, I think. I just like the sound of everything. The cohesion of the instrumental is quite great. The vocal hook is memorable. It's this kind of just a little bit of upbeat and energy, while also having like a melody that I can really latch onto, I think. And I like that it's kind of fast-paced in a way. It doesn't really drag out, I think. And it's done with just the great intent. And you can see that they're enjoying what they're doing on stage. It feels very charming in that way. And I like this type of rock when it's executed well. And I think this one really is. I'm going to put this one in solid. It doesn't quite really have, that hard-hitting drive that maybe I would like it to be. And vintage rock is still, it's very difficult to make it really live up to modernized standards. And I mean, this is 2009 after all. It's not 1989. So I think that it's just kind of lacking in those areas. But I still really like the instrumental that they have here. The arrangement is quite strong, and the vocal, or the whole hook as an overall, I'm quite fond of as well. 2010, not really the same appreciation for this one, to be honest. I think it's called Yasya Imam Silata or something like that. It's basically that line in the vocal hook that you kind of sticks to my head, and not a lot else. The verses are quite weak, in my opinion. I don't like the performance here either. It's becoming a bit of a recurring theme here. The vocal hook has a memorable melody. The guitars sound alright in the song. It's kind of like it has a lot of hectic inputs in the instrumental, but not quite all the way there. The drive is a bit lacking. Rhythmically, I don't think it's very strong, and kind of like tempo-wise, it's not really my thing either. I think it's... I like it, but because the melody is still something. I'll be a bit lenient here. The melody has something, but most aspects of the song is not really my thing. Rusinka, however, I think this is incredibly charming. Love the rhythm of this song, love the kind of chanting vocal style. Love the switch up with the accordion midway throughout the song. It's so unexpected, but it's part of the charm, I think. This song is just all over the place in a positive way. I like the performance. I like the charisma of the main vocalist. I'm loving the guitar sound, like how like jolting the rhythm of it is, and how just the sound design of it as well, and how it works on top of this beat that just keeps going. I'm really fond of a lot of ideas here. I think the performance is also a lot of fun to watch. Really great. Can't really find many flaws with it. I get that the song might not be for everyone. I mean, this is a song that's probably a bit polarizing because a lot of people would just find it annoying. But for me, I just find it charming and fun. So I think it's a really great effort. And in 2012, of course, this is one of Macedonia's, or North Macedonia's better efforts, I'd say. Cernoi Bello is a very impressive performance, first and foremost. The song has a lot of great ideas in there, combining rock with this kind of symphony-esque approach with the strings. And vocally, it's incredibly strong. Very well sung. Great performance. Well-written song. I'd go as to put it in really great. I don't think it's really as captivating for me as Life. But I think it's stronger than the songs I have in the really great category. But I don't quite want to put it in the fantastic category, just for the fact that I don't think I'm the correct audience for it. I've never really latched onto it the same way that maybe a lot of other people have, to the point where I just completely love it and I want to listen to it over and over again. It's just, for the 3 minutes that it's on, I am very impressed and I really enjoy myself, but I never really set out to go through those 3 minutes again, which is weird. 2013, this is not for me. The verses are just not my thing. I think the chorus is quite strong. I like the scaled back instrumental during the sections, and the vocal melody is really, really great. It's also very well sung. Maybe that should really warrant it to be in the I like it but category. But I think the verses are so far away from being my thing. Um, but I will still put it up here because I do like the chorus a lot, actually. Yep, that's where we're gonna end up. I think we'll get some company here. 2014. I feel like there's gonna be too many songs in this category, but yeah, To the Sky has a memorable chorus, quite well polished in kind of like sound design and such. I just think the song sounds a bit cool, but the song kind of just lacks anything to really grab my interest. I think the one line of memorable vocal melody isn't quite enough to latch on, like to make me latch onto it. Performance has some ambition into it, but it's just one of those that I kind of easily forget about, even though I think most aspects are quite all right. But yeah, I think it just lacks that kind of punch and identity that makes me want to put it higher. And 2015, we have another one, Autumn Leaves. Very well written song. I really like both the lyrical side of things and the melody mainly. I think the melody is very pretty. The instrumental is really strong behind it. The digital approach that they have kind of maybe is a bit over the top. I would have probably asked for a more kind of softer vibe with it, a different type of instrumentation. But I still like how it's kind of guitar based and very mellow in its approach. I just don't like the performance at all. I think it doesn't fit the song at all. Just doesn't really work. Looks unplanned and unfinished. It's a shame because I think there's a really great song in here. 2016, Donna. No, not for me. This one is straight up not for me. It's a vocally again quite impressive, but the song has a too repetitive hook. The verses don't carry any interest. The chorus doesn't really carry any interest for me either. Performance is quite static, and I think it just becomes kind of grating after you've heard it for 1.5 minutes and you just keep hearing Donna, 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 Donna. No, not fond of it. And this vocal style doesn't really work in a song like this for me either. It should have this kind of rocky vibe to it for it to really work, I think. That one doesn't click with me. Dance Alone. This is such a sad one to talk about, I guess, because I think the song here is definitely among the better in 2017. It has a fantastic production quality. The instrumental backing track is so well put together, has a great sound design to it. The chorus is memorable. It's really, really catchy. Has a great melodic flow. The rhythm's great. Staging is just nothing. It really is nothing. The vocal performance is a bit on the lackluster side, but the staging is just nothing. It doesn't work for the song. It needs more drive and more kind of identity being put into it. I still want to be a bit lenient here and put this one in solid because I love the song so much. The melody of it is so great, and I love the way that it works with the backing track as well. The instrumental has so many great ideas into it, so many solid elements. Yeah, it's one of those. 2018, Lost and Found. This is not for me. I know this song has a somewhat large fan base, in all honesty. The performance is definitely not for me. I don't like the way that it's performed at all. But the song was never really my thing either. I'm not super fond of the switching kind of, what do you say, switching styles that it has. The guitar is very prominent throughout the song, but it's not really one of those guitar arrangements that I'm super fond of. The verses are very slow, and drag back, and then there's like a tempo automation, which I always like. Tempo automations are good to use, but the chorus just doesn't really have that melodic tone or rhythmic approach that I really can click with, and I just can't really get behind it. And then the performance comes along and drags it down a bit further for me as well. So yeah, it's simply not for me. 2019, however, is for me. Proud. This is a fantastic performance. The song has some great writing ideas. It's lyrically incredibly engaging, and I like the string arrangement midway throughout the song, which really just takes over, adds a new layer of kind of sorrow into the song. Performance is so scaled back and beautiful that I really love it. The staging looks fantastic. I think it warrants a fantastic category here. Yeah, just so well put together. Great vocal performance, great staging layout, very hard-hitting song, just fantastic. Then we have You by Vasil. I am tempted to put it in the same category again, in all honesty. I think this song has such a great vibe to it. It's very charming. It's very fun. It has this instrumentation which I really like. I like the inputs of accordions, and it has a very specific identity to it, while also being kind of a little bit clubby. The driving drum beat is immense in this song. I really like the way that it pushes the song forward. It's also quite playful in how it breaks up the rhythm throughout the song to really just kind of fill out with vocal during those sections. The vocal side of things here, the vocal arrangement is really strong as well. Just loving the hook of it, loving the instrumental, loving the whole atmosphere of the song. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of just great kind of bounce to the song that I really enjoy. I'm gonna put it in fantastic because I have too much fun with this song. Honestly, love it. And then Here I Stand comes, and I mean, kind of just the concept of the fact that Vasil sang this song and then sang this one kind of makes me want to put it in the What Happened Here category. But I still think it's more not for me, because there is something in the song, it's ambitious. It has this really wide backing track with its grownness that it really wants to be kind of over the top or exaggerated. That's kind of its approach, but it's just not for me. I'm not the audience for it in that case. It's very musical-esque, which could be nice, but I don't really buy it, I guess. And then I think this is quite gimmicky with the glowing shirt or whatever. It's just not for me. And the song Circles from 2022 is not for me either. The performance is quite alright here. I like the passion being put into it. And I think really that's the only thing I like about it, to be honest. The production quality of this song is unfortunately so subpar. It sounds incredibly plastic, sounds like a demo to me. I don't really connect with it at all. The song has ideas in here and there that I think are quite solid. Melodically has something in it. Instrumental wise, I don't really think so, because the instrumental is getting dragged down so much by the production quality and the sound design. But melodically there is something here. It's just that it's not for me, and even though the performance has some passion into it and it feels very authentic, the song is just not strong enough for me to put it any higher than that, and it doesn't really have any redeeming qualities in it either for me to put it higher. Yeah, that's what I think. North Macedonia has a few standout entries, I think, but also has quite a few that I'm not super fond of. So let's see what they have to bring us in 2023. Always looking forward to seeing what it will be. But yeah, that's my list, the way it looks, and do tell me what your list would look like if you think anything is, if I've done anything that's completely unacceptable. Do tell me. Yeah, that's my list for North Macedonia. Hope to see you in the next video, which will be Norway, and I already can kind of reveal that there's going to be a lot of songs towards the top in that tier list, because Norway is definitely among my favorite countries in Eurovision, so maybe you will also check out that video if you want to. Hope to see you in that video, as I said, and take care of yourselves until then.